Okay, so I left off in my previous video with explanations of damage and damage reduction. The next mechanic I want to go over is dodge and hit rate. And just to give a brief history, IGG added in this mechanic a few years after the game was released. And if you had to ask me why, I would say it's because we got to a point where every single hero was just stacking damage and damage reduction, and that's pretty much all there was to the game. It got pretty one-dimensional, so the addition of dodge and hit rate kind of added another level of depth to combat. It might have been another reason, that's my theory. But anyways, let's get into the video. Uh, these are also very simple. Don't expect to be confused or try to overthink it. They're very similar to damage and damage reduction. It basically is what it says. Hit rate might be a little confusing, but I'll go over it in this video. And yeah, I'll start with dodge. So dodge, as many of you know, it's a percent chance to completely dodge 100% of the damage from an attack or a skill. If you dodge these damage instances, you would completely ignore them. You take none of the damage. But what's really good about dodge is that it also works for most skills. It can, so let me give you a great example. Uh, this javelin, let's say my hero is being attacked by a Penthesilea, and she throws her spear or her javelin at my hero. These javelins uh, reduce damage for the hero it hits by 54%. So if my hero dodges the javelin, not only does it ignore the damage that the javelin would do, but I also don't receive the negative debuff effect. So dodge is better than maybe a lot of people think, because you ignore the negative debuff as well. Now, the issue with dodge, unfortunately, is that it's been a bit outdated in the sense that a lot of the newer skills and mechanics just completely bypass the dodge mechanic as to where dodge doesn't even function or give a chance to dodge for these sources of damage to begin with. A good example is Chrono Keeper Divine. Uh, I think that's the main one, honestly, if I had to say. But you can't even dodge it to begin with. So most skills you can, some you can't. It's mostly an outdated mechanic that I wouldn't focus on too much. It kind of just comes along as you upgrade your hero. So, for example, everyone passively gets bonuses here, but no one really goes out of their way to focus on it, even though it is still good. Um, and it works just as it says it does. Increases dodge rate by 40%. That means I have a 40% chance to completely dodge an attack or skill. Now, obviously, that sounds amazing, but of course, as with any mechanic in the game, there's a counterplay to it. Most mechanics, and in that case, there's hit rate to counteract that. Because obviously, if heroes got 100% dodge, that would be very overpowered. So there's other things as well, like Spiteful Spear was a huge counter to dodge because it allows you to completely bypass enemy dodge entirely and make it useless. But I'm not going to be going over Spear. I'll be going over Hit Rate, which is the other counter mechanic to dodge. And hit rate is a percent chance for your skills and attacks to bypass a dodge. Now, here's how it works is, let's say I have 50% dodge rate. This says 40, but just imagine 50. And then I have 50% hit rate. If I'm attacking a hero with 50% dodge, in effect, half of my attacks should be dodged by them. But if I have 50% hit rate, every instance that the dodge effectively activates, which in theory would be 50%, I now have within that window of that dodge a 50% chance for that dodge to end up not activating. So it's not a one-to-one counteract ratio. So for example, if I have 50% hit rate and they have 50% dodge, that does not mean they dodge they can't dodge anymore. It means half of their dodges will be bypassed. Uh, and that's in essence to make dodge effective no matter what. Hit rate and dodge do not cancel each other out. It simply gives you a chance, should they dodge an attack, to revert that dodge back. So hit rate is useful. Nothing people focus on anymore because this mechanic is kind of outdated now that Spear is in the game. But that's just a basic overview. Again, these mechanics simply come just by the act of upgrading your heroes. It's nothing people go out of their way to work on, and that's because they exist within the Enlightenment bonuses, they exist within Hero Masteries, they exist within equipment bonuses. Does this? Yeah, dodge. And they also exist within the enchant bonuses. So, and glyphs. So they're more of just there. They're more of a passive mechanic that just come with time. No one's really focusing on them, but it's good to understand what they do just to get a gauge of systems in this game that are at play. One other last thing I wanted to mention was that, what did I want to say? Oh yeah, when a dodge is activated, it's very obvious in combat because you'll see a blue text box appear above the hero that says dodge. And it's just good to pay attention to that to get a sense of what's going on in combat. And to, if you weren't too aware of this mechanic, just to get an idea of how effective it could be in some situations. Like I said, where you dodge, not attacks, I would say, but skills, and which in effect dodge debuffs as well. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. My next video will be on the mechanic that everyone has a hard time understanding, and that is, not everyone, but a lot of people ask about, and that is block and pierce. So stay tuned for that. That'll be up on my channel as well. I hope you guys understood dodge and hit rate. Again, Spiteful Spear, where is it? This just completely negates dodge because attacks cannot be dodged. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions or if I clarified that correctly. Again, if a top player is watching this or an old player, this is just old news, but thanks for tuning in anyways if you got this far. So see you guys in the next one.